What's up, friends? This is Jazz, finally bringing you my 150 subscriber special. As I'm recording this, I'm like 7 subscribers more. So I am growing. Today, I'm going to talk about my memory with the Webkinz brand. Now, I'm just going to admit, I'm going to be a little random on this part while you see some footage in the background that I'm actually playing a little bit of Webkinz for the first time in over 10 years. So, we'll say that I got free, lovely Webkinz on there. I'm playing the old, the new a little bit. On the new, I got a husky named Ryan, which I absolutely adore, even though I haven't played it for a couple of weeks. And on my old account, I have just a dog that I picked out, and I named him Pete. And I actually managed to get actual Webkin, a seal, and I named it Laura, after a friend of mine who passed. Now, that's just kind of the little bit of the gist of it. I'm just going to go into memories that I believe when I was 16 about for a while, and I really gotten a big collection of them. Although most of them are put away somewhere out in a closet that my aunt cannot get to, so you will not be seeing a majority of these Webkinz during the video through actual, showing them off. But maybe someday, once I can finally get them out, maybe I'll just show them off in a separate video. But I think I did get a picture, which is not very good, of a good chunk of my collection. The only ones here that I have with me now are a reindeer that my aunt recently got me, which was just already used. The code was already used, but she found the reindeer, which I didn't give a name to him yet. Bat, an old bat that has not been put away. I don't know if I named him. No, I don't know what I named him. I apologize. But an old bat. A penguin, which I had named Edward Penny, which it was the last Webkin I got with my father. So it's kind of sentimental that way. And as I said, the seal that I got, which I have a really nice story about that seal. I was planning on making a Webkinz video for a while, so I was seeing if I could find any Webkinz, that I could use the codes for. So we went into a shop called Cards and Things, and there was one left. I think they were having a sale out or something, that they were closing. And so the seal was only like $5, so that was no big deal. But they gave it to me for free, since it was the last one there. And I am grateful for that. I kind of hope they knew I was an adult, though. I feel so bad if they didn't. Because, I mean, I was excited about it, but you know me, but anyone who knows me well enough on this channel by now, like the N-Man64, for example, knows that I'm a little bit more childish than for my age, right? My demeanor is a little more, when I'm excited, it's a little more showing, right? So I may have appeared that way, and I wasn't intending to get anything for free, I was excited, about my YouTube channel and everything. I'm always like that when I talk about my YouTube channel or things that I've really once loved. It was something I never did for a long time. So the seal kind of has a special memory that way, too, in a way. Now, I was obsessed with Webkinz when I was a teenager. Yeah, I know, a little old. I know, but again, emotionally and mentally, I probably wasn't all there, So, I was probably more in the 10 to 12 year range at that point. And as I said, there's not so many memories. They meant a lot to me because my friend got me into them, and I remember I would get Webkinz once a month or more. It's just that, I was spoiled that much. But one of my best and saddest memories, guys, if you are sensitive to death, please turn this off. One Webkin I was looking for the most at that time when I was turning 18 was the Gray Arabian. I don't know why, but I was drawn to it. And it was the eve of my 18th birthday. We were in Truro, looking around, the mall and that. Back then I wasn't so bad with, as bad with going places. And I saw it there, the Grey Arabian. And my mother was so pleased because she knew how much I had my heart set on that. And it was a decent price too, I think. It came with another one, I don't know. It was a set of one or two Webkinz, and the Grey Arabian was one of them in there. Of course, Mom got it for me very quickly because that might have been the only chance. And why is it so sad? Well, that a day or two later, I think the day after my mom passed. Like, that's just the story. It was the last weekend I had with my mother. And I got the Grey Arabian on the same weekend. So it was a little bittersweet that way. And the sad thing is, the Grey Arabian is one of those Webkinz in the storage. I hope for God it's in storage and not gone completely. But I said to my aunt, if you ever were in there, and if you could get just one Webkinz out of there for me, it would be the Grey Arabian, because I regret putting it away now. Like, when I was a kid, I think the only Webkinz that I remember actually keeping out purposely was Edward. Because I know I still have stuffed animals in my bed now. But it was one of the ones I always had with me all the time. It wasn't just a Webkinz, I got a Webkinz. It was like a stuffed animal, right, that I snuggled with. So, I don't know how the bat got out, but he was out. And the reindeer I just got and the seal I just got, I actually already had the seal, but it was the only one there and I just wanted it for a video. But now I appreciate that seal a lot more than my other one. It's so weird how that happens. But it's just, some Webkinz do have some more sentimental value to me, just like Twilight used to. But you know what? I think I'm happier holding on to the Webkinz memories than the Twilight memories. I do not know why. Maybe someday I'll have a Twilight video of its own, just to still go back on it a little bit. But But you might see, as I said, I'm going to have some footage over there. I said, honestly, I had at least 40 Webkinz at one point. And I used to I had all of them on a account. Unfortunately, they deleted the old account, so all of them are gone now. That's why I made new ones. I technically didn't know there was a new and an old Webkinz running at the same time, so I gave you a little bit of that footage. I mean, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to show you, because it's all depending on how long I talk here. And we all know that when I have nothing really to say, it just goes on way too long. But, I guess maybe instead of talking about just my memories, I could just talk about some good and bad things about the new, me playing it again. One of the biggest things, guys, is just how creepy it feels now, playing it. I mean, I know I was still above the age that I should have been playing it back then too, but at least I was either a teenager or a young adult. I didn't get footage of this, unfortunately, because at one point I decided I'll play it a little bit more, to keep up with it for a little bit. I had, clothes on the Webkinz, I don't know, a hat or something, and suddenly someone says, "Woo, that's cool clothes, you want to play?" That was a real person, but just with the selected words. And, guys, there is a probability that another adult like me could like it. But realistically, it was somewhat under the age of 13. Possibly 10 or 9. So, guys, I'm 29 years old when I'm playing this. You guys all know, and I know, and my family knows, I have nothing ill in mind, right? I have no ill intentions in mind. But I just feel creepy that this kid doesn't know my age. And that they asked me to play. And what if some parent found out my age and thought I was reading the wrong way? That why are you on a kid's site? Like, that parent doesn't know I have a disability and that mentally I am not 29, that I'm more of a teenager. Like, they don't realize that. So I just felt so creeped out by it. Any consolation, I feel bad and creeped out by that. It gives me the EBGBs, so that's a good thing. Like, I was on it for my YouTube channel and for, just to enjoy it. Like, I didn't want to honestly socialize with people there. But someone just said, oh, you want to play? And I said I wanted to be polite when they said, oh, you look cool. I'm like, thanks. Like, I mean, someone was actually talking to me, right? So I didn't want to be rude. I just don't want to be rude, but at the same time, I'm just thinking, gosh, that could come across the complete wrong way. I mean, I know I don't necessarily look like an adult. That's even worse. Like, I mean, I am not like those sick men and even sick women who go on to kids' sites to attract kids. I just wanted to, get into playing the game again for a short period, right? I mean, I was not on it for the social aspects of it. So it's just a lot more creepy. I mean, I suppose though there's kids playing like older games too, who are like 13, and then there's adults playing it. So I mean, I shouldn't really feel so bad. But when you think about it, the games that happens are meant for adults too. But some kids just happen to be allowed to play it. Like Call of Duty, for example. That is meant for older audiences. But kids just happen to be on it. Webkinz shouldn't have any mistake what age range it's for. With the games that are on it. Even though some that I even still find challenging. But I mean, it's meant all for kids under the age of 14, maybe 13, 14. So my point being is, out of everything, I don't belong on the site. But so there are just so many things that way. Also, I know this sounds, what is it, complaining, because with everything going on anyway these days, but the transactions, guys, the well, not micro, they don't have like loot boxes or anything, but my gosh, guys, like, there's this new feature on the new one. The new one is worse that way, where you can make baby Webkinz, but you need to have 2 at least. And for those who haven't had the luxury of, of having new type of Webkinz plushies or digital Webkinz, all they got is the free. And to buy a new Webkinz, you need certain currency, which cost real money. Now, guys, back then, yes, you could buy cool clothes and have these rooms and stuff, but that isn't completely in the way of fully enjoying the game. Where you need maybe more than one Webkinz to fully enjoy Webkinz. And back in the day, it was a little easier because at least you would get something else for your buck. Like buying another Webkinz plush. But in the new version of it, my gosh, you can't enter old Webkinz codes in there. So you're stuck with the free one you got unless you're playing as an adult with too much money to spend. It gets in the way of fully enjoying the game for kids. And for me, sort of, because I'm not wasting money on currency just to get a chance to get a new Webkinz. I would rather pay real money on a plush that was for the new Webkinz than paying money on currency to get a new digital pet. I'm sorry. It's just, at least I've matured that way. I have more sets than that now. It's probably why I didn't play the new one as much. I mean, I think I will go back to, I love the Husky I was able to get, which was lucky, because I love Huskies.
This is
Like,
your
I don't know
dock.
why.
All
I
your
mean,
items will go
I will
here
never be
so
able to
that you
own
can
one
have
because my
access
aunt
to
is
them
at the end of
wherever
her
you
leash with
are.
pets as it is, but I love plushies.
Your pet just made a
I mean,
request.
plushies,
Drag
Huskies.
the water bottle
Oh
to your
well,
pet
you
to see
get
what
this
happens.
error in it. So I got to have that, but
You received your
I mean,
first
they're
pet
just way
gift.
too much,
Whenever you adopt
For
a new
kids
pet,
that
you'll receive a
don't
special gift
understand
after
that
you
value
answer their
yet,
first request.
they'll be, oh,
And
but I'll be
look,
so much
you
cooler
filled
if I
some of
have
their
this, like,
pet
new
care
hat or
heart.
this new room
You're
that only
doing a
costs
great job
gems. That's what it is,
already.
gems. But to get, you can earn some gems, but you have to do a certain amount of tasks, and you only get
Want
so
to know
many
more?
gems for
I've
those
left you a set of
tasks.
fun challenges to help you
And
learn about caring for your pet
for
and
a
all the fun
Webkin,
activities in
it
Kinsville.
costs like 500 or more gems. So guys, it's a lot for, it's
Well,
so
my
much.
job here is done.
And for
If
100
you
or
ever
something, or
want to grow
300
your
gems, or
family,
200
come
gems, you
visit me
cost
again
like,
at the adoption
what,
center.
30 or more bucks. So no, guys, I gotta say, guys, shame on you. I mean, doing that to kids. I mean, okay, I know for me, I can't even fathom affording that. At 29 years old, that I do still earn some money. Imagine a kid. Their parents would not allow that. I mean, you could have made it 20, maybe even 100 gems, maybe, for a Webkin. And that would still be somewhat fair. That they could earn, work towards. But no, 500 flipping gems or more doesn't work, guys. Just doesn't work. I'm just saying that, like, I admit, in some ways, I do still like Webkinz better than I do Twilight now. But it's just, they cheapened. I'm not saying there weren't some cheap things back then too, but they've really cheapened out with these kids on the new Webkinz. I mean, the old ones can still be played on the old one, which is, I would recommend, parents, I would recommend the old version over the new version for your kids. Because it's a lot more fair. Because there's a better chance you could get fleshy Webkinz, and for them to have a stuffed animal along with their digital pet is far more worth the value than getting one free digital pet on the new one and having to save 500 gems for a new one. Now, I'm not saying there may be plushes for the new one, but they're very hard to get. I looked on the website, just to check what was available. Next to none. Next to none. There's like a lot more options for the old Webkinz, and it's not as cheap. They're not as much as cheap states. So, guys, parents, if you can, unless you have a good lot of money and don't mind spending money on your kids' weird, expensive habits, avoid the new Webkin for your young kids. Once your kids are old enough to still enjoy it but understand the value of money and what is a cheap, you know what I mean, what is fair and what is not. Like when your kid is old enough to understand that paying almost 100 bucks for gems for a digital pet is not worth it, then allow them to do it. If they still want to enjoy the new Webkinz for what it is, fine. But when a kid is too young to understand the value of money and that paying that much money for a digital pet, is it worth it? Just try to avoid, allowing them on that particular website. And even the old one to watch them. Because there's cool clothes that they could get into. But it's more unfair on the new one. We'll just put it that way. Like, if you could buy it with a game currency that you earn abundance of, that's fine. But for those really cool items, you need gems. And for the Webkinz, you need gems. And to complete certain tasks quicker, you need gems. That sucks. That also sucks. Guys, the only thing I think I'm willing to go back to that new Webkinz for is for my husky. And I'll play with my husky a little bit. But, my gosh. Like, it's just... I'm sorry. I know I'm just ranting at this point. But it's just... As someone who's finally coming into the adult mindset and learning what it is for the value of my buck, I just... Nah. You know, I'm just going to use another example here. At this point, I was Christmas shopping, or deciding what to do with some of my money after Christmas for late Christmas gifts. My aunt said I couldn't buy anything else till after at least Christmas, even if it's Boxing Day, the 27th. So, I'm deciding what to do to add for additional late Christmas gifts that I really want. And I really so badly wanted Pokemon Shield, right? I could afford it. I had the money for it. But guys, I already paid $91 for Sword. I don't want to pay another $91 for just 2 new gym leaders and a few new Pokemon. So I have sadly, at this point, decided I'm going to wait. At least, like, at this point. If someone's willing to sell it for cheap, I will. Or when I say cheap, I mean $50 or under. Without the tax at it, I'm willing to pay. But if it was just $70-something without the tax, then maybe I would be a little more. It's still much, but a little more willing. But right now, there's so many more games that I want that I would rather spend money towards them than another $91 on something just a little different. And guys, I'm finally coming to some sense. Like, yes, I know the game would still be more worth it than that pet. I would far rather pay the money for that game than a digital Webkinz pet. But still, just for slight differences, I mean, it does have a few more differences than most brother-sister games, which would be a little more worth it. And I used to want both versions so bad I would care paying the money again. But now, hey, it's been a year since I got Sword. So I didn't buy them together, but even now, it's a lot of money, guys. For just a sister game. You know, I just not really planning it. But anyway, back to the Webkinz. I went off track a little bit, but that was just my example of learning growing up by knowing what not to spend my money on. Right? So, really, there isn't, like, the games are okay, right? They're fun, and it's so cool decorating your room and everything. But honestly, guys, this is really, now that I'm older, this is a game for kids. Again, minus the whole those real money transaction things.
Is their name?
It's for kids. And at least the old one in mind has it that way, has the understanding about that.
Username, password,
so
a greeting name for if they want to.
Do I regret my Webkinz phase? No. It was part of my childhood, and I have a lot of plushies for it somewhere, and it gave me some joy when I wasn't into the things that other kids my age were, like driving and boyfriends. And I'm still not into that stuff. Or the other. Boyfriend, girlfriend. I'm not into either. But it gave me something that I could relate to with one of my dear friends. Or, I don't talk to as much anymore, but she got me into it. We had that in common for a long time. It gave me something to relate to someone with that I haven't had for a long time. Is it for me now? Not so much, no. I might still get the occasional plushie Webkinz and appreciate it, but it's just not something I obsess with over anymore. I appreciate the seal, which will always remain on my bed now, along with my penguin. And if I can find the Gray Arabian, I will bring that back to my bed to remember Mom. Bye. Oh, just to to go back for a minute. When I said that it was the last webkin I got with my father, didn't mean he croaked the next day. Okay, I know that sounds mean. It took a couple years afterwards. But we never went and got another webkin after that. I think it was the last one that I really obsessively got. So and we named it together. He wanted to name it Penny, because it was a penguin. I wanted to name it Edward, because again, I was obsessed with Twilight for some reason again at the time. So I compromised and named it both.
Choice.
So we named it together. So it was kind of more of a special, sentimental moment with my father. So he didn't die the next day. It was the last one that I actively got, and the only one we really got together. So I still don't have him as a digital pet anymore, but I have him as a cherished memory of my father. And he is awfully cute, I will admit. Maybe I could show you over webcam or something what he looks like, but he is adorable. I actually have him with me. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it seemed kind of rambly, and I can't fit all footage into this, but it will mostly be just like webcam or webkid game footage while I talk. Yeah, I'm sorry, but if I can get pictures and that to add to certain things, I will. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. And if you're new to this channel, like what you see, please subscribe. It helps this channel a lot. And don't forget to hit the bell notification so you know when new videos are coming out. And I will see you guys in my next video.